All right, guys, we're here, like I said, day 2 of Evolution 2022, celebrating fighting games, more action, and talking to these amazing players under this roof and seeing how their lives have been during these tough times. But Jammerz again for the interviewer, and I'm joined by another strong Dragon Ball FighterZ player, Nitro. Speaking to you the first time in the flesh. Brother, how is it? You all good? Tell me how you're feeling today.
I'm feeling great. You know, I just made top 8 for my Dragon Ball, and I made top 96, I think, for Strive, all winner sides. So, you know, it's moseying on through, you know, just like, you know what I'm saying?
I like it. Now, educate me, because when I hear your name Nitro, where does it come from? Is there an origin behind that, or did you just like the Nitro boxes in Crash Bandicoot?
So, my origin name was actually like, it was when I was like, I think like 8, 7, or something like that. My brother was like, hey, I'll make you an account. What you want your name to be? And I'm like, I'm not a creative person, right? I'm not very creative when it comes to names. So I'm like, I don't know what I want my name to be. So you make a name for me, and his name is Nitro Flash. So he put my name as Nitro Bros. And then as things went along, you know, I just inherited the name Nitro, just straight Nitro, you know? That's it.
But you know what? I like how simple that is. Doesn't need to be complex, doesn't need to be like some huge backstory to it, but it's very simple. Now, you're predominantly known for Dragon Ball FighterZ. When did you start playing the game? Did you play it from its original release, or did you come after like season 1?
I came from the original release, but I never really entered tournaments like that. When I started entering tournaments was season 2. And when I started practicing like super hard was like season 3 when the pandemic was happening. And you know, I've come far away to be here now.
So how has it been? Because you just mentioned that you trained through the pandemic. That must mean you're another perfect example of someone who has more time to think about the game, to practice the game and grind. How was that process for you? When did it click that you said, I can actually compete and do better?
Well, I always knew I could compete since like season 2, but I was like, it was when I was watching the World Finals, the last one that happened before this one, and I said to myself, these guys that are there are so much better than we are. We have to do something about them. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? It's the best, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why don't we just become the best? And they're just like, nah. And I'm like, all right, then I'll do it. And then I just kept practicing, no matter what. No matter if it was online, offline, I just did what I could. I had to take $70 Ubers over to Sonic's house and be like, let's train. And then take $70 Ubers back. I don't know how I even did that. So much money out the window, but it was worth it. I'm here now.
Listen, you know as well as I do, it's a life lesson. When you want something done, do it yourself. And I think you are a perfect example of that.
Become DashFight supporter on Patreon and get a chance to win a coaching session with a pro player. Click the link in the description.
Now, the American scene for Dragon Ball FighterZ, I know it's pretty healthy. You guys have a lot to say, you're very active. But in terms of skill-wise, where do you guys put yourselves? Better than Europe? Below Europe? Where?
So I don't think Europe is predominantly better than us, but I do think they are our top players are equal to their top players. Like, you'll notice that like I would beat like a Yasha, or Pred would beat like a Kane or Jilla. Like, these types of things that they make us like equal. The only one that I would say is like probably better, and if not better, he has a better record than all of us, is Wawa.
Okay, interesting. Now, I want you to give me your top 3 American DBZ players. Feel free to put yourself in that bracket as well, please.
I definitely will put myself in there. I do think I am probably the best. Next, I think, is most likely, so it's, naming the top 3 is pretty hard, but I would say top 3 consists of like 7 players. Like, that's how it is right now. So it's like, there's me, like, I think I am pretty much the best right now. I solidified that. Now there's Pred and Zane, Hook, and Inzem just all fighting for that second place spot. You know, just like, yeah, I'm there 1 week, and then somebody else is there the next week, and then Inzem's there the other week. It's like, they're all just fighting for that second place and the third place, to be honest. Like, they're all just there. Like, all 5 of them just like, I'm there 1 week, and then they're below the other person, and then that person's below the other person. Like, it's just, they're all just like there.
You keep switching and interchanging, sort of thing. Right, now I've got to ask you on players, is Wawa the best Dragon Ball player in the world right now?
most likely, like, his results speak for himself. He's definitely the best, but I don't think he's unbeatable. I think, like, it's hard for me to beat him because, one, I get in my own head a lot when I'm playing him, and two, I'm not as practiced as he is since I've been focusing on Strive. But I do think, like, even at my current level, that it's possible to beat him. I just need to, like, stay focused. But in terms of, like, results and, like, who we can beat, he has obviously beaten all of us, and I would say, yeah, he did best.
Okay, now I want to transition over to the game itself. I spoke to Yasha earlier today, and he's telling me, if I'm not mistaken, the meta is Fusions plus Lab Coat 21. Do you have the same opinion, or is there something else you see in the meta right now for DBZ?
Yeah, I agree with everything he says. Like, honestly, it's just Fusions and Lab Coat. Like, all the top 8 will most likely have either a Lab Coat or Fusion in it. Like, top 4 winners has already been decided, and it's Fusion, Lab Coat, Fusion, Fusion.
You got Lab Coat in your team?
Yeah, I'm the only Lab Coat.
You're getting the job done?
Actually, Kane might also have Lab Coat, so yes, both of them. But yeah, I honestly, after everything I went through to get here, I feel like I had to get the job done, you know?
Now, I've got to ask you personally, Nitro, your opinions on this patch. Me looking from an outside perspective in, a lot of people didn't take kindly to it. I want to hear your opinions. Let me hear it from the horse's mouth. Your head's down, but I need to hear it.
Listen, man. Bandai, Arxis, you gotta clean it up, brothers. This is not what I paid my $60 for 4 years ago. This is not it, bro. I am not a fan of this meta. I'm not a fan of this game at the current moment. Honestly, I was like, I probably quit the game at least 8 times already. I'm still retired right now. I'm playing Strive, but they don't know that. Nobody knows that. But I'm playing Strive. I'm just here in Dragon Ball. I just enter. Like, I'm supposed to be a pop monster, but I'm a top 8 finalist in Evo.
Well, I mean, that means everyone else got to get good if you're a retired player's making top 8, right? Having some fun. I mean,
yeah, man. Like, I said this. I had a tournament I won, right? This is like last week. I was like, and hey, you got to clean up, bro. What's going on? I should not be winning. I don't play this game. I entered a invitational tournament. Well, I didn't enter. They invited me, but yeah, when I got in, it was like a couple days to warm up. I warmed up, and I did not play a single game of Dragon Ball. I played Strive the whole entire weekend.
Yeah, it just shows how talented you are. Now, I've got to ask you, the game's been out for 4 years now. Still been actively played. A lot of things have happened, especially from season 1. It's a completely different game now, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Would you want another Dragon Ball FighterZ game to come out? Would you be super engrossed in that?
Honestly, this game is in a state that is almost unrepairable. So I think it is just best that we get a new Dragon Ball with rollback.
I totally respect it. Now, obviously, there's a lot of characters in the game. Is there any Dragon Ball character that's not in the game that you really wanted to feature in the game? If they could replace Lab Coat 21.
I could give you a list. I could go down the list, you know. But my main one, shout outs to Posey. He loves the character too. Majin Vegeta. I would want Majin Vegeta in the game.
Do you know what? I'm gonna tell you something very funny. Yasha said the exact same thing.
He said the same thing. Yeah. Me and Yasha think alike. So I expected Majin Vegeta would be so sick in this game. He would be the sickest character. Free.
Okay, fair. I personally would have wanted Super Buu from the Majin Buu saga. Yes. When he absorbs Gotenks and Gohan, come on. Listen, am I the only one? I might be the only one who's saying that. He's not even making eye contact with me right now. But one final question before we let you go. Who do you think is going to take the tournament this weekend for Dragon Ball?
I mean, I'm obligated to say myself, right? But yeah, that's it. I'm going to say myself. I do think there are a lot of contenders who take this tournament, including like everybody in winners. Honestly, like they are all capable of taking the tournament. But I definitely, want it to be. I want it to be me, and I'm gonna have to do what has to be done.
All right, cool. All right, I've got one more impromptu question for you. Fighting game wise, what's next for you? Are you interested in Multiverses, Project L? Maybe you might jump over to another game. What's next for Nitro?
So you just named 2 of the games that I'm definitely thinking about playing. When I get home, I'm gonna probably tap into some multiverse, practice some Strive, wait for Project L, wait for Street Fighter 6. Those are the games that I'm looking forward to the most.
All right, sweet. Nitro, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good luck in the top 8 for DBZ. But yes, this has been Jammerz. This has been Nitro. I love this guy's bravado. But this has been DashFight, and we'll see you soon.